Hi guys, it's Tara here with Create Life Paper Words, and I am sharing with you week 29 of my 2017 Family Weekly album. This is done in the pocket page or project life style, and if you're just joining in, I have a whole bunch of other process videos that you can check out on my YouTube channel. So I'm pretty much up to date, which is really nice because at the beginning of June I thought I was going to be a bit behind, but now that we're into July, I'm actually really surprised with how it's gone this summer so far. As I was working on this one, I ended up going with a black, white, and green theme, and I didn't really think that I'd go with a green theme, even though I've got a lot of green in the photos of those plants. I just thought I was going to go with a black and white theme, and then I found some really great alpha stickers that I thought, and they were green, as you'll see in a few minutes, and I thought, well, yeah, may as well bring out some of the greens. So I'm just trying to figure out where all my photos are going, where all my journaling cards are going, and where all my filler cards are going, and then I will start working on all the little elements. For these plants, they are ornamental cabbage, and when I got them at the beginning of the summer, they were super little, and just in the last couple weeks they've blossomed into these really big, beautiful plants. So I really wanted to take a picture of those, and I also love the colors, the greens and purples in them, so that's why I have a full page on plants. That, and I didn't have many other photos, except mostly of my youngest, which that's just how it goes sometimes. I know I've talked about this before, that sometimes I have lots of pictures of one child and not as many as the other ones, but unfortunately I can't always take the same amount of pictures of every single child, and so that's just sort of how it happens. Maybe next week it's going to be more of my oldest or my middle, so I do throughout the album try and keep it as even as I can, but again, I'm not going to stress too much if I can't do that. And also during the school year I see the youngest more than I see the oldest and the middle, so that's just sort of what happens. I always have my phone with me, and that's what I use, of course, to take photos. And so, you know, I'm usually taking the photos of who I see, and the other two like to go play, whereas this youngest one likes to stay with me. So anyways, back to my process. So I used quite a few labels on this one, and I absolutely love labels. They are definitely one of the basics that I use on all of my pocket page spreads. I've got these, I was playing with a macro lens that I had got, and so I really loved these two photos, so the one in the top right and then the bottom left, and I really wanted to do something really simple because they are so bright and bold that I didn't want to take away from them. So that's why I have just the script lens, which came from the Ellie Edwards lens story kit in, I think that was June, and then just the label on the other one. So I am now working on this gratitudes. Originally I was going to use a 4x6 card that was pre-made, and I think that was an Ellie Edwards one as well. And then I decided that I didn't really love the colors, and I didn't want to think of 10 gratitudes. I was feeling a little lazy maybe, and I thought, oh, you know what, maybe 5 should be good. I can think of 5 gratitudes. So right, one of those. That's one of those. So anyways, I decided to just make my own, and so I used my stamp press, and that's a Fiskars one. I got that off of Amazon, and I just brand new, and I really am loving it. And then I'm using my Kelly Stamps Anzac Alpha Set, and that's what I used to stamp, and then just Stampin' Up! Ink to go for the inside of the outline. Now I am taking these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and originally I was going to use different colors on different photos, but then I realized that my white ones weren't going to show up on a white background, so I ended up changing that. So The numbers on all the photos are in the white, and the numbers on that gratitudes page are the black ones. And so once I get those laid out, I start trying to figure out how I want to lay them out on that 4x6 card there, and end up deciding to do that. And so I just use my tiny attacher, which is one of my favorite tools. By the way, if you haven't got one, you should totally get one, because it's my favorite. And just writing out my gratitudes. So as I'm writing out my gratitudes, I realized that 1 and 5 are flip-flopped. So what I've written for 1 should actually be the one that I have the number 5 on, and vice versa. So I realized this as I get to the 5th one, and so I thought it would be easiest to just change the numbers on the photos, and it was the easiest way to go. I just pulled off the staples. I'm really glad I used my tiny attacher for those, and then just stapled them back on. So sometimes you make mistakes, but a lot of times they can be fixed. So don't freak out too much if you make a mistake. This card right here is an old Studio Calico one. I've had it for a while, knowing I wanted to use it for July. And then that 7 flare as well. I want to say that's a Studio Calico one as well. Again, I knew I wanted to use it for July because it's the 7, so I pulled those out finally and just attached that on, and I'm calling it good. And just doing some journaling here about my daughter and how we had done swimming lessons that week, and she was a really good sport about going to swimming lessons and just sitting nicely while the kids did their lessons and playing nicely. And I remember my son at that age, he was so impatient and he did not like going to swimming lessons for his sister, so it was a refreshing change that Emmy was happy to be there. I felt that this diagonal stripe card needed something, so I pulled out some color cast designs, and I'm using an acrylic piece in that gorgeous green, and then a wood piece that says this right here. And so it's an arrow that green piece is an arrow etched, and it's pointing towards Emmy. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit of brush lettering, and I was having a trouble with this card because it's the black background with the white dots, and I put summertime on it, and then I was a little stuck with what else to do. So I pulled out my white and paint and wrote on Life at the Pool, and then added a little bit of journaling and Stories Our Life. That's an Ellie Edwards die cut, and I let it sit there, and I decided I didn't quite like it, so I do end up changing that. You should see me right about now. Nope, not right about now. Not right about now. It's coming up pretty soon. Just adding some little enamel dots on there. I had a hard time with that. I find I have a much easier time with white backgrounds than I do with black backgrounds. So yeah, here I am finally. So I decide, instead of having the little die cut on there and a little bit of journaling, that all I'm going to do is write on that tag. So it says, in the summertime we live at the pool. And I added a little bit of a shimmer paint to that white, so it's got a really nice reflection on it. I don't think it's going to show off real well in the photos, but in real life it looks very nice. It's got a really nice shimmer to it. Just adding some little finishing touches, like those little puffy white hearts, and I think they are Bella Boulevard. Those are from the paper issues. And that is it. So as always, I really want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to watch these videos. And if this is the first one you're watching, there's a lot more on my channel. Please subscribe. And as always, you can find me on Instagram at Create Life Piper Words. We'll see you guys later. Bye.